Okay, I bet this sounds like crap.
Is this just for the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so exciting. The
I
first
know.
5 minutes?
Well, I figured what better time to do it than after it initially happens.
Yeah.
So, what?
I love that.
I don't know if we can hear you. I don't know if this is
You
working.
need to turn off the music.
No, I can hear you better now.
Oh.
That's
Better?
much better. Yeah. Keep going.
Hello.
There you go. Now I can
Better?
hear you.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay.
So, as Rush is playing in the background, what did I just do?
Oh. An incredible thing. You, with poise and humility and grace, left your job because you'd been laid off. And after 2 months of knowing that you were being laid off, you still were able to, say goodbye with your head held high and even better, be able to look forward to the future.
Did I work at the level and quality and character that the job required?
Over your time of employment, yeah.
Did I do what the job required, or did I do far above?
Well, you did far above what the job
And
required.
why did I do that, my love?
Well, you're asking me, so
I am asking.
I don't need to preface my answer with that, but I think you take great pride in your work, and it's one of a few ways you find fulfillment is your output, whether it's work related or whether it's, task related. So you strive to always provide 110%.
The way I was raised and the way I believe is it's another way to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Animals communicate with each other in the wild in ways we'll never understand.
Mm-hmm.
Bees fly in specific patterns. We understand it's why, so they're talking to the hive, but without communicating, they're communicating. Working, doing something that makes something better resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what the job appears to be on paper, in whatever capacity it is, the work, the way it's executed, is unanimous. So no matter what job it was, no matter what I had to do, I made sure to do it admirably and to do it with humility, but just get the job done. And that was hard to do in this one because the job wasn't supported. So that myself and many others weren't able to get it done correctly the first time. And I've never experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Except if I reflect on it, I experienced the same thing in every position. So I've never experienced anything but that, is what I learned on this job. I thought, every job has problems. And I go, nope, you keep working at places that have problems. Imagine what it's going to be like when you work at a place that when they see that problem, they go, oh, crap, or fuck, and they fix it.
Yeah.
Instead of just, yeah, well, we know.
Mm-hmm.
Says the white American, says the male without a college degree, says everything that I have for me that I have been gifted and granted that I never earned and never worked for. I get all of it, but trying to be humble, trying to be honest, I can't understand any other way that I would have left my job without being laid off during a pandemic for trying to continually, during the pandemic, call out inaccuracies for a job that had to deal with time-sensitive material during a pandemic. Information that had to be disseminated fast and quickly during a pandemic. This is not rocket science, but it does affect people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time-sensitive information. And our competition is Google and TomTom.
Mm-hmm.
And I, a high school graduate with 3.5 years of college degree, outperformed Google and TomTom to the metrics that were deliverable to our company and what was asked for navigation purposes.
Do you now believe you don't need any sort of prerequisites in order to achieve something great?
I haven't figured that out yet, but it sounds really good.
It sounds like you're proof of that. Sounds like you did that. And maybe it's just whatever you put your mind to. If you do it 100% with your heart, it doesn't matter how many years of college you've
Here's
had.
something that you didn't really care about, but you learned to care about it, and you cared about it so much that you wanted to do it well. That's the cello. That's the beginning phase of acting. That's the love and respect of voice acting. That's the reason for starting the recording. Mm-hmm. That's D&D. That's bicycle. That's anything that anyone has any interest in. I'm just picking mine because I'm selfishly thinking of ideas, but it's an extension of who you are. And I have learned that I need, moving forward, to do one of two things. If I find myself working at a company that does not fully appreciate the extension of who you are, fine. You need to work for the company. Nothing malice, nothing wrong, but work for the company. But look for the places that go, we want to help shine who you are.
Absolutely.
They want the extension of who you are and what you can do to succeed no matter where it is. And the interesting thing is, that exists in our company. Mm-hmm. Your working relationship is completely different than mine. Mm-hmm. And we're in the same company.
Yeah, I think that's proof that it has to do with the people that you're having, or that you've been placed alongside to work with.
And the people that you've been placed alongside to work with as well.
Yeah. And once you realize the kind of people that you don't want to work with, you more clearly realize the kind that you do.
Even if you don't know what the work is.
100%.
Yeah.
And maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe it's about finding like-minded individuals who are just as passionate or just as excited or just as determined to, achieve something great. And then maybe it doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it doesn't matter right now what it is.
Who knows? And I know that I'm looking forward to figuring it out. And I think that doing this is the first step. I've tried this before and have faulted, so it's time to just not try. Like Master Yoda says, and just do it. If being laid off, if being outsourced to a different country, and if the quality of my work was never a factor in the decision, if it was just a business decision, with my own internal neuroses and my own skepticism, I am excited, I rest happy knowing that my time has ended, in a way kind of fighting the good fight. Like, I wasn't quiet, and I'm sure someone will hear the message now. It wasn't just myself, it was 13 other people. It's a lot of people after months of no information and wondering and worrying and trying to say it's just because our quality isn't there.
I'm sure people will continue with that even after you're gone.
And reminding myself never to lose oneself in the job, as I often did from time to time. Far too often. So much so that it sent me to the hospital multiple times. Put a wedge in our marriage. Drove countless sleepless nights on both of our parts. Affected my friends. Affected my family. Affected my business relations. And affected my own ability to grow. Because the right thing wasn't being done. And I had to stare at it every day. And I had to fix it every day. When it shouldn't have occurred in the first place. And how, again, selfish complaint, right? My job. Being able to work remotely. Like, how good do we have it? How well off are we? How many amazing things do we have in our life? But like everybody says, until you get it, it's not about money.
Of course.
And the only thing that changed was the environment. Every time something happens in the street, we were responsible for assisting with reporting it for global navigation. Or navigation, if you say it correctly. It changed hands from normal reporting to something larger in June in America, and it was never addressed other than, if you need to reach out to HR, here's the contact. Never a rally, never a support, never nothing, just independently, good luck, process it. I now have an semblance, a microscopic amount of level of stress that first responders must really truly feel. Healthcare workers must really truly feel. What I hope government officials really feel that are out there trying to defend and protect us. But at the end, it's the result. What is the result? And you have to feel what you feel and work towards the result. And if the result is good, fantastic. If the result is anything other than good, for business alone, it needs to be changed in order to succeed. And I realized that I shouldn't change. And that's what I did wrong. To put a book on the first jump into the deep end of the pool here with recording of how it felt directly after signing off for the last time, where not even my manager or the general manager said goodbye. It was a manager that I haven't worked with, and the operations manager was the first one to reach out. People that I work with seldomly that are like, gonna see you later. That felt good. And it was oh, I know Sophia. That's our dog. She's emotional as well.
Do you know what else is also cool, though?
What?
This whole experience that you've just gone through, I'm not sure you would have chosen to do it yourself unless it was forced upon you.
The comfortable thing was to sit there and put up with it because it provided finance for my family.
Yeah.
The hard thing is this.
And it's important to believe in what you're doing, but it's also important to enjoy doing it.
Right.
And it's important to be in a situation where you sometimes even have fun doing it. That's why I like at the end of West Wing so much when Danny Kincannon asked CJ Craig, well, that sounds like fun. Does that sound like fun to you? What an important question. Right. Because if it doesn't, is it worth doing?
And when she smiles and nods, he goes, okay, good.
Yeah.
What else?
When she wells up with tears, you know that's exactly where her head's at. Yes, that sounds like fun.
Do you want to do that? Shakes her head and cries. Like,
whatever job opportunities you're going to be, looking for or interviewing for or, finding along the way, that's probably one of the most important questions is, does that sound like fun? And if the answer's no, but I'd like to learn more about it, but still ask yourself that question. And if the answer's just a flat no, then it's not something I think you want to dedicate your years to.
I haven't had that feeling since Divvy. I was like, leaving from bike and roll, jaded, but I didn't want to give up bikes because I really love it and still believe in it and extremely passionate about it and want to make a living off it, realizing that it's so hard to live off that, but needed something more. But I really love what I did. Like, I was passionate about it. It's just the same thing of of when business didn't line up, when management wasn't listening, when the right thing wasn't being done again. Instead of getting frustrated and letting it outward, I needed to remember who I was inward, and I often forgot that. And it ended up being something that I really was fun and believed in, being like, F this job, fuck this job, man. Like,
yeah.
And that wasn't fair, because I would love to still be working for them. I love to still be driving the blue van around. I love being the guy in the street.
I think it's important to remember that you deserve all of the qualities of a job that you want. It doesn't have to just be one and then you deal with the rest. You put up with bad managers. You put up with, a bad situation, whatever it is. You can have all of the things that you want. That's entirely possible. People need to stop, in my view, justifying things that they don't want to do or deal with.
Like, just argue for your limitations. That's what you always told me.
Yeah, don't argue for your limitations, whatever you think they might be. Because again, that's what you think. So if you're going to argue for the things that you don't like about yourself, well, I don't know what other way to help you instead to tell you to stop. Just knock that off. I get it. I get how you're feeling.
How are you feeling as my partner right now, 10 minutes after the initial? Just out of curiosity, because I forgot what we said in the beginning of this. This is how the magic of this thing works.
No, it's an elated feeling that has been a long time coming now, since we've known this was going to happen. And a lot of the past 2 months after you were told has been you having to deal with the fact that you have to log in every day to a job that you're not going to have.
I became someone I did not know who I was.
But now, after especially the last few days where you've woken up and you've been like, I feel lighter. That to me is the primary indication that this is exactly what is supposed to happen. It's exactly the magical tonic, right, that you're meant to take to help alleviate whatever it was you were frustrated at or upset at. And it's not to say, if you don't like it, just quit. That's not at all what you did. You were there for 3 years. You tried so hard, bending over backwards at times, to make it something that you truly felt proud of. Not just the work you were doing, because you were proud of that, but the group of people you were with,
and the fact that the group of people that I was with had the platform to succeed, that their ideas were heard, that their talents were championed, and that all of us felt rewarded. I want to feel rewarded where I work. I want my time spent for others to be rewarding, and I want that for other people. And this was a rewarding job. Could be a rewarding job. I hope it is, but that's no longer my
That's not something
It's not
you have to worry about.
It's
anymore.
not a concern. Yeah, it's not a concern. It's not my priority anymore. That's a better way to put it. Because I'm still going to be concerned. I'm still going to think about it. I have friends and family there. Always.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not my priority. My priority is doing something with this.
Mm-hmm.
What positive comes out of this perceived negative? Just because it's no longer guaranteed finance.
Yeah.
Okay. You had this before. You've been there before. You've been working since you were 15, 16.
We're super lucky that we've got, a stable foundation of sorts to make this whole experience a little bit easier.
I can't imagine what everyone's going through, especially now.
I'm most excited about this new podcast that you're starting, babe. I'm most excited about the other people who know what this feels like. And instead of deciding to commiserate with you, I'm excited to see how many of them are like, best fucking thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Right. And how it was like a starting off point for something that was bigger and better
and
for
to
them.
start with.
Or if it wasn't, like just an honest representation of like what happens after you get laid off. Like, especially now, of course, it's the COVID pandemic and we're in the midst of dealing with it in December 2020. But I am very curious to see how many of these people end up sharing their stories and they're like, honestly, if I wasn't laid off, I'd be in a much different place.
I was going to say to go from feeling what I feel of dread, financial instability, scared, all the stuff like that everybody feels. Mm-hmm. But for those that have far less, for those that have far more, the fact that everybody's feeling a same emotion at some point, uncertainty. And no one can provide you certainty. You have to provide that for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't rely on the president. You can't rely on Congress. You can't rely on the police. You can't rely on... name it. Healthcare. You can't rely on science. You can't rely on anything.
No,
you're just getting information that should be the best of its caliber at that time to help you be informed to make a decision. That's all this is. And your energy, your input, your participation in it helps curtail where it's going, helps move that ship in different directions. Mm-hmm. But it's still up to you. And I always put the task, the other person, the emotion, the whatever you're focusing on first. I never put myself first, which is such a fucking narcissistic thing to say for a white male. But I'm excited to do that, to see with everything aligned in me what I can actually do versus what I talk about wanting to do. And actually, instead of saying, I'd always like to, well then, do it. You have nothing else but time.
Yeah. You shouldn't be talking yourself out of something you think is a good idea.
Because, I've got work, I have this commitment. Now I don't have that. All I have is my wife and my animal and our progress forward through the cosmos like so many other people. And I have a partner and an animal that understand who I am to go through this ride with. Mm-hmm. How many people are by themselves on this journey right now?
Yeah. But you know what? Those people figure it out too.
We all have to.
Exactly. They're all going to find it in themselves. No matter what kind of strife or situation you're going through, whether it's work related or not, everyone just fucking figures it out, because there's no choice but to. And if you come out of it having learned a little bit more about what it is you would like in your future, whether it's your relationship, your job, your place of residency, whatever it is, like if you come out of it with an idea and an eagerness and a belief that you can do better. Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And at this time of the year, this is the first year I have felt a different level of gratitude for the holiday season. Mm-hmm. I've always been thankful, like humbly thankful to my core. Share those little moments, make that memory. I'm not that guy. Rather, I'm the one that remembers the stories they can pass on. They're like, hey, remember that one holiday when blah? And everybody has, they remember that memory again, and you unlock that emotion. It's that time of the year again, and we need to be thankful for what happened this year. No matter how horrible everything was that we saw, we need to be thankful that we're here.
Yeah.
And what we've seen and what it's taught us.
100%.
So, raise a glass, spark a bowl.
What are we calling this again?
I don't know. Oh, laidOFFtopic.
laidOFFtopic.
And You know,
Dude.
be kind, be well, but just be. Yeah. We need a phrase. Oh wait, I think I wrote a phrase down.
I gotta take the dog out.
All right. Well, that could be the phrase.